Tally-ho, boys and girls, Will here with Just-in-Time Prepping. Say hello to Leo. As you all know, Leo stands for strength and pride. It takes that for us to survive when shit hits the fan. Today we're going to talk about disaster preparedness, but before we do, I want to apologize for the video yesterday on the nuclear where you would hide video. If anybody knows about my history, they would understand that I just wasn't quite up to par yesterday, so things kind of looked a little bit off kilter. And today we're going to cover disaster preparedness, and because there's such a long list of things that you have to be prepared for, I have several notes in front of me so that we can get through it all in a timely manner. So let's get started. Do you think that your family is relatively prepared for disasters such as an earthquake, tornado, a cyclone, winter storm, fires, floods, and other such incidents? This is just a small step to understand and equip your family and yourself about the knowledge related to these disasters. So, do you believe the community that you live in is well prepared for disaster? Well, disaster management, most communities have a disaster management plan. And they'll have community information systems that will make you aware of any source of information to prepare yourself for these disasters. Have you discussed the disaster preparedness with your family? If you have a plan of what you'll do during a disaster but haven't shared it with your family ahead of time, your plan may not work. Each family plan needs to know how to phone for help, how to escape your house, how to seek safe shelter in the house, and each family member needs to know how to be safe when they're trying to get out of the home, or from work, or from school or play. Each family member needs to know how the family plans to reunite if it becomes impossible to return home. Do all your members of the family know how to call for help? If you have kids, do they know how to phone for help? Do they know how to dial 911? If you don't, do you have a phone number for the police, the fire department, ambulance, responsible friend, or a relative? Do your kids know what sort of information they'll need to give them over the phone, such as your address, their last name, what's going on, etc.? Do they know to phone from outside the house? Say the house is on fire. Do they know to stay off the phone during an electrical storm? These are all things that your children need to know before the disaster hits. Have you conducted a home hazard hunt and fixed potential hazards? Many disasters at the home can be averted with a simple hazard hunt. It's in the home for fire and safe, no frayed electrical cords, no overloaded outlets, working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors if you have them. No flammable liquids near sources of heat or flames. Excuse me. Are your fire extinguishers easily available, and do they work? Do your family have a disaster supply kit? In your supply kit, you will need all the things it'll take to survive at least 72 hours, such as cash, food, flashlights, radios, etc. Could literally mean the difference between life and death. Every car should have a kit. Excuse me. You might want to change the contents of the kit for different seasons of the year, and we've talked about this in other videos that I've done. Are you trained in first aid? Most cards are only good for 3 years, so if they're not, you need to make sure that you have at least CPR, and that will give you time to learn how to save someone's help, yours, your family's, or a community member. Are all your responsible family members current on CPR? Because if they're not, they offer several programs either through the community, or through the hospital. Do you have operational smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors? Having a smoke detector or a carbon monoxide detector is not good enough. You need to make sure that they're going to be operational. That is, they must have working batteries. An operational smoke detector more than doubles your chance of escaping your home alive. 2 good rules of thumb are check your detectors once a month, and checking the detectors every month, usually around the 1st. When you change your clock for daylight savings time, change the batteries in your detectors too. That kind of keeps them fresh. Do you have a charged fire extinguisher? Excuse me, I'm coming down with a cold. There are 3 basic classes of fires. All fire extinguishers are labeled using standard symbols, and they are Class A, Class B, or Class C. Class A being ordinary combustibles such as wood, cloth, paper, rubber, and many plastics. Class B would be flammable liquids such as gas, oil, grease, tar, oil-based paint, lacquer, or flammable gas. And then there's the Class C, which is energized electrical equipment, including wiring, fuse boxes, circuit breakers, machinery, and appliances. Many household extinguishers are multi-purpose, labeled for use on all 3 classes of fire, and if you ever faced with a Class A fire and don't have an extinguisher with an A symbol on it, don't hesitate to use the one that has a B or a C. Do you know how to use the fire extinguisher? Using a fire extinguisher is pretty straightforward, but if you've never used one before, it could get kind of complicated. But what you need to do is take your fire extinguisher, pull the pin, and that releases the trigger. Then take the nozzle in one hand and the trigger in the other hand, point it down at the base of the fire, easily back away from it, and then pull the trigger. And then it will start dispensing the material inside. And just start going back and forth, gradually going towards the flame, and making sure it goes out before you keep moving forward until the fire is completely out. Do you know how to turn off all the utilities such as your gas, electricity, water, etc.? Well, for a variety of reasons it may be necessary to turn off the utilities in your home. Do you know where the water main is? Do you know where the circuit breaker box is? And does everyone in your family know not to turn off the electricity? Do you know where your family records are? If your house burned down today, would your insurance papers, household inventory, receipts, other important papers, etc. burn up too? A great place to keep your valuable papers, such as your marriage license, your birth certificate, your passports, insurance papers, and household inventory, etc., would be in a safe deposit box outside your home. It's probably not wise to keep your will in the safe deposit box, though. A will is best kept either with your lawyer or a good friend. Do you know where your family will meet outside your home in case of an emergency? If your family is separated during an emergency, you should have 2 contingency plans in place. The first plan should be to place a place to meet near your home, such as across the street or at a neighbor's house. If the emergency is something like your house is burning down, the second plan should be in place to meet somewhere in the community away from your home, such as a local business or a friend's house. If the emergency is something like your neighborhood being evacuated, by knowing ahead of time where to rendezvous with your family, it can avoid needless worrying about the members to make sure they're fine and concentrate on the members that you don't know where they're at yet. Do you know at least 2 exits for every room in your house in case of a fire? Most rooms have 2, either windows or doors. Excuse me. So if the kids get confused about whether to stay inside or outside the home, they go out the window and make sure that they have a way to get down on the ground. If say you're on the second story, make sure there's a ladder. Do you have out of area phone contacts? Make sure that you and your children have contacts outside the area, such as a relative, so that you can let them know what's going on and they don't worry too much about you. Can you list the actual cash value of every item in your home? Check your family disaster plan and make sure it will work for everyone. Also, you may be asked to create a list after a fire or a disaster. Obviously, a wise choice is to make a list, and well before the disaster occurs, like a household inventory with some excellent information for deciding how the insurance company can handle the purchases as well. Check your family disaster plan. Make sure it'll work for everyone. For example, if the family plan is to seek shelter in the basement or a community shelter during a cyclone or a tornado or such thing like this, be sure everyone in the family is able to negotiate the stairs or the basement. Some members, say the elderly or disabled, are unable to go to the basement or shelter. Make sure you have a second plan in place for them. Seek shelter in an interior room underneath a heavy piece of furniture. That would be in case of like a tornado or an earthquake. Do you have a plan for your pets? A simple sign on your door alerting the fire department to the fact that you have pets inside could save your pet's life. Bringing a pet to a temporary shelter may pose health risks to the local shelter may not be willing to cope with. It's a good idea to arrange a place ahead of time where your pets could stay temporarily in case of an emergency. There are lots of places to go for more information about emergency preparedness, like online, or you can call your local disaster management area place in your hometown. So there is an address that you can go. It's online. It's www.keyinternet.com/Rescue International. And I'll put that in the comments down below so you guys can go to it and check it out. There's also free rescuing training sites that has a wealth of information, including reference articles, online quizzes, links, databases, photo galleries, slideshows, and stuff like that. And that's at www.techrescue.org/, and I'll put that in the comments as well. So the purpose of EPICS is to facilitate the exchange of ideas and information among United States, Canada, and international organizations. And they have a website also. I will also include that down below. And so I gave you a lot of stuff to think about today, and there's going to be several places that you can check for more information. I'm going to put all those links down below for you so you can go and check it out. So I'm hoping that today's topic was kind of helpful for you, because there's a lot of things there that we forget or we don't think about at the time. So that's what I have for you guys today. I want you guys to think about everything that we discussed here, and make sure that you'll check the links down below so you can go check other things out. And it's such a beautiful day outside. And also I want to thank you guys for watching my videos. Really means a lot to me. Don't forget to make a comment, hit the like button, maybe the subscribe button would be cool. And if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to visit me at one of my other sites that are going to be listed below also. And you guys have a great day, and God bless.